most important business events taking place between September 2nd and 4th. You're watching Events Around the Corner on Kazakh TV. The Soyuz manned cargo spacecraft will launch from Baikonur on September 2nd. The first Eastern Economic Forum will take place in Vladivostok on September 3rd. The IFA 2015 annual show for consumer electronics and home appliances will begin in Berlin on September 4th. Let's discuss this news in detail. The Soyuz manned cargo spacecraft will launch from Baikonur on September 2nd to carry another expedition to the ISS. The main crew includes Kazakh cosmonaut Aidina Imbetov, his Russian colleague Sergei Volkov, and European Space Agency astronaut Andreas Mogensen. Aidina Imbetov is the first Kazakh cosmonaut in the ISS crew, because Talgat Musabayev, who flew to ISS in 2001, already had the Russian citizenship at that time. Imbetov passed space training at Russia's Gagarin National Center from 2003 to 2005 and graduated as test cosmonaut, in addition to acting as a flight engineer. Imbetov will conduct several experiments under the Kazakh space program. A meeting of the CIS Council of Interior Ministers will be held on the same day, September 2nd. Council members will focus on priority issues for cooperation between interior ministries and a program to fight crime. They will also consider draft documents for cooperation in fighting IT crimes and discuss counteractions to car theft. An instruction on the operation of the database of the Office for Coordinating the Fight Against Organized Crime will be passed. The ministers will discuss information exchange between law enforcement bodies. In particular, this will concern prevention of illegal actions by sport fans. In addition, cooperation in combating the turnover of psychoactive, psychotropic and narcotic substances will be considered. A parade to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the victory in the World War II will happen in Beijing on September 3rd. The grandiose event will take place in Tiananmen, the principal square of China. Kazakh President Nazarbayev will be a guest of honor. The Guard of Honor of the Kazakh Defense Ministry will also take part in the parade. The People's Republic of China actively develops both political and economic relations with our country. Heads of the two states have agreed on the large-scale development of relations and cooperation. In particular, an agreement was reached to relocate some technology-intensive production facilities to Kazakhstan. According to Chinese ambassador to Kazakhstan, Zhang Kanghui, China is sincerely interested in cooperating with Kazakhstan and assisting the country. Over the next 5 to 10 years, China plans creating an up-to-date industrial base in Kazakhstan, thus laying a foundation for further development of our country's economy. We would like to assure the Kazakh party that we indeed view this cooperation as mutually beneficial, noted Mr. Kanghui. On the same day, Russian President Vladimir Putin will meet Chinese leader Xi Jinping. The talks for supplies of Russian gas to China have become complicated due to a sharp decline in the global oil price. This is the main reason why China refuses to sign the gas deal on September 3rd. Let me remind you that Gazprom and CNPC signed an agreement on the construction of the Power of Siberia 2 gas pipeline in May this year. The project envisages the annual supply of 30 billion cubic meters of gas from the fields of West Siberia to China. It is not excluded that the amount goes up to 100 billion cubic meters of gas. The first Eastern Economic Forum will take place in Vladivostok on September 3rd. The event will be held in the city on an annual basis. The goal of the forum is to foster the development of Far East and expand international cooperation in the Asia-Pacific region. According to the organizers, the event will be as large as the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum in terms of the number of top participants, such as major officials and CEOs of Russian companies. Representatives of large Japanese, Korean, Chinese and Singaporean companies have confirmed their participation in the conference. The forum's target is to boost the investment attractiveness of Far East. The measures to be taken are creation of territories of fast business development, launching of the free port of Vladivostok, and development of the mechanisms for support of investment projects. The annual international show for home appliances, also known as the Berlin Radio Show, begins on September 4th. This is one of Germany's oldest industrial exhibitions and the world's key consumer electronics show. It started in 1924, when the first international German show was held in Berlin. It gathered 242 participants and attracted 180,000 visitors. After the success of the first event, it has been held annually. The exhibition is organized by the German Association of Entertainment and Communications Electronics and will be held at Berlin's Expo Center. Participants will receive the opportunity to demonstrate their latest products and developments to the public. Many international innovations debuted at this event. Last year, 117 countries took part in the show, which was attended by more than 240,000 visitors. A 4.250 billion euro worth of orders have been placed. The Volkswagen Group, which assembles Volkswagen, Škoda and Audi cars for the Russian market, will launch an engine plant in Russia on September 4th. This is happening despite a general decline in demand in the country. The plant will increase the Volkswagen localization figures in Russia to 50%. In addition, it will be possible to cut car prices under the existing tough economic conditions. The engine plant has been built near the main production facilities of Volkswagen Group in the territory of the Grabtsevo Industrial Park. The construction took 3 years. In February this year, the company assembled the pre-series batch of engines for Volkswagen and Škoda. The estimated capacity of the Kaluga plant is 150,000 engines, around 600 per day. 250 million euro has been invested in the new facility. The company's press secretary Andrei Gordasevich stressed Volkswagen was not going to leave the Russian market like General Motors did. Ford Solars has also announced the construction of an engine plant in Russia, near its car-making facility in Yelabuga. The plant capacity at the first stage will be 105,000 engines, with a potential increase to 200,000 engines per year. The total construction and equipment costs are estimated at $270 million. Ford will manufacture engines for Focus, Fiesta and EcoSport. The launch of production is scheduled for December 2015. ArcelorMittal planned cutting the salaries of its employees by 25% from September 4th. The reason is financial problems in the head office and daughter branches of the company. Director General Vijay Mahadevan has already signed the instruction to cut salaries, but the metallurgy labor union Jaktal and coal labor union Korgal objected to it. They believe the instruction has been signed unilaterally, violating the existing contracts. In this connection, an inquiry has been sent to the prosecutor's office of the Karaganda region and Labor Inspection Department to check the order's legality. The Ministry for Healthcare and Social Development said that under the existing law, ArcelorMittal couldn't cut the salaries without coordinating the issue with labor unions. Presently, the company has suspended its decision to reduce the paychecks and is negotiating with the involved parties. On September 5th, the National Bank of Kazakhstan will approve of the mechanism for compensating tenge-denominated deposits. By a presidential decree, the compensation applies only to the amount of up to 1 million tenge per deposit. A special commission is developing a program for the compensation of the exchange rate difference resulting from Kazakhstan's pursuit of a new monetary policy. Director of the National Bank's Consumer Rights Protection Department, Alexander Terentiev, assured that all depositors who kept their money at banks in the amount of under 1 million tenge would be covered by the compensation mechanism. The compensation applies to individual tenge-denominated deposits, open as of August 18th this year. The task force includes representatives of second-tier banks, Kazakhstan's Financiers Association and the National Bank. On August 20th, Kazakhstan opted for the free floating exchange rate to implement a new monetary policy based on inflation targeting. The National Bank will not be directly defining the exchange rate, but will retain the right on currency interventions if the financial system faces threats of destabilization. It will be prohibited to change the US dollar and euro exchange rate during weekends and after 6 p.m. This has been our perspective on the coming few days. You've watched events around the corner. See you next time on Kazakh TV.